What's up, everybody? Rob Ferretti here, podcast 60. And 60 is a milestone if you count by tens, right?
Sure.
We got Glen DiGiacomo here from Glen's Car Collection. You can check him out, glenscarcollection.com. And coming from the bleachers, we have my fire alarm, which just seems to have a lack of... I don't
That's
know.
our podcast guest.
It's possessed. Yeah, the fire alarm is our guest tonight. And yeah, it sucks. It just keeps beeping, and I'm going to have to sort of tear the house down to make it stop. But eventually I will figure out a way, and we will make it stop. But we've got Glen here, and then we got Jimbo on the edit studio, and he also has a microphone.
I do.
But it's mainly me and Glen just bantering.
How do you say 60 in Spanish, Rob?
Say
Sesenta.
Is it?
Sesenta.
All right. I took Spanish in college, but I guess I didn't learn to count as 60.
Yeah, no, I took Spanish 3 times, and I still don't really speak very well. But I just accepted the fact that I could just hire a translator, and I could stop with all this bullshit.
There you go. I took French in school, and I couldn't speak that either. And it's a waste of time. I don't know why I took it.
Because they make us take it. It sucks.
So let's start with Arizona tonight. So you recently went to Arizona, right? So let's.
Nope.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
All right. So let's first talk about the car you were driving in Arizona, the Alfa Romeo Giulia.
The Stelvio.
Oh, you were driving a Stelvio or Giulia?
Yeah,
so it was the
Stelvio.
SUV.
It was the SUV.
Now, was it the Quadrifoglio one, not the 500
It was
horsepower?
not. It was just a Stelvio.
And you liked that SUV, right?
I did. It was.
Yeah.
I was very happy with it. My wife, I tried to get her one. She didn't want one, but I thought it was a cool car.
What is the regular model, like 300 horsepower or something like that?
Don't know.
Okay. What, did it feel quick? Did it feel slow?
It felt perfectly fine. It got good enough gas mileage. The eco mode was nice. On the highway, it had enough pep. It needed a little bit more brakes. That would be my
right.
complaint.
Now, I think the issue with those brakes is they're actually drive-by-wire brakes. So they're not actually connected.
No, I just think it needs more brakes for
Okay.
the speed that it can pick up. It just feels
power's not good enough.
little underbroke. But for a car that's only $40,000, I can understand why the brakes are a little underwhelming.
Right. Do you think that's going to be a reliable car? Should people lease it?
I don't
Maybe to
know.
hedge,
I think the
resale
leases
value?
on those are pretty incredible. I think it's like $400 a month,
Yeah, the base
$450 a month.
ones,
Yeah,
And then the Giulia, like if you get the base one of that, it's like $300 a month.
which that's a lot of car for a couple $100 a month.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I attest to that car being awesome. It's very good.
Did you drive it?
Yeah, I drove the Stelvio when I was with Chris.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but the Stelvio, yeah, but the Stelvio, perfectly fine car. But where the equivalent BMW or Mercedes is going to cost you $700 or $800 a month,
To lease it.
I think
Or buy it,
$400 a month is a really nice play.
And what is the sticker on those cars? Like 45?
45, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, we saw it at the auto show. You were
Yeah.
showing to me. You like those cars. So there's enough room in the back seat and stuff
There
like
is
that.
there is enough. The back seat's a little tight,
Yeah.
but the trunk is a lot of space.
Gotcha.
Now, where I drive the Range Rover Evoque, which has a small back seat and a small trunk, the Evoque has that extra trunk. Not the Evoque. The Stelvio has that extra trunk, which is
Right.
nice.
What do you like better, the Evoque or the Stelvio?
The Stelvio by
Yeah.
10 to 1.
10 to 1?
Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody just whacked my Evoque again.
Oh,
So I've got
no.
now, I had a
Oh,
hit and
really?
run on my Evoque, and now somebody just jacked up the passenger side door. It was a legit shot, too.
Really?
Like, I'm gonna pull up a photo and
Yeah.
show
well,
you.
Where did that happen? On around town or the highway?
At dinner tonight.
Oh, wow.
You're not having very good luck here, Rob.
It's just you know what, sometimes it comes in waves. I can't wait for the other wave. But like I can just show you guys. That's pretty legit.
Oh, wow.
That's like I can tell the car was blue.
Yeah. So it was parked.
Show the
It was
camera.
parked.
Oh,
Show
wow.
the camera. Hold on.
Yeah, you gotta come real close there. See if I can punch in on that for everybody.
Ooh.
Yeah. So definitely hit by a blue car.
There it is.
Boom, I like it.
Nice and close.
Am I steady? My hand steady?
Yeah,
Do I need to trim my nose hairs or anything like that?
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
surprising. It was just in a parking lot, like a
it
restaurant.
was at dinner. I was in Piermont at a place called Cornetta's.
Valet or no?
No, it was just a regular.
Surprised somebody didn't see a white SUV.
They did. The thing about that is, like, you don't not know you jacked somebody's door. Like that's the frustrating thing. It's the same
Right.
thing with the other hit and run. It's like are we that low class? Like, I mean, think about it. I've had 2 hit and runs and a stolen watch in the last like month and a half.
You
And
having a bad month.
that sucks, dude. That's like, I'm waiting for somebody to do the right thing and be like, hey, man, I just want to let you know I found your this and I wanted to return it. But it just doesn't work like that, and it's unfortunate that that's how we exist.
I had once part of my front bumper ripped off by a valet, and I didn't know till later. I was down in like Atlantic City, and I had a Grand Cherokee SRT8, with the Hemi engine, and it's very low to the ground. So the parking guy probably didn't know that. Like in one of the places there, take the car and they take it away. So I got it back. I came all the way home. A couple of days later, I noticed that I opened my garage so I can just happen to see the car at a better angle.
Yep.
And I'm like, holy shit, half my front bumper's missing. So I had to pay for that one. That was probably like $800, $1,000, something like that.
I'm not going to say I just spilled iced tea on myself, but I did.
Is the camera on him, Jimbo?
It is now.
Jimbo got it. No?
I didn't want to show the camera him just drinking. It looks stupid.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So what else? In Arizona, you had another, I saw your video, you had another little, I guess, mishap with the...
It wasn't a mishap. It was me driving along and this guy deciding that he was bored and wanted to stop me.
Yeah. Now, what did he clock you at, 90 miles an hour?
91.
In a 65?
It's a criminal offense in
Yeah, I
Arizona.
know. That's surprising. He said like over 86 is a criminal offense.
Over 86. And I'm like, well, that's a stupid law.
You made me slow down this week.
I'm like, is there a better road than this middle of effing nowhere?
And the road is just straight, pretty much.
Yeah, if you look up the road, it goes from Flagstaff up to Page, Arizona.
Oh, so you're pretty far north.
It goes forever. I'm going to look it up just so I can tell you which road it is.
The funniest part of that video is
Do you want me to look it up, Rob?
I got you.
You were going to Page, right?
Yeah.
The funniest part of that video, I thought, is when you asked him how long it would take to get there, and then you said at what speed.
Yeah.
And he's like 65.
I mean, it's like if he says it's an hour away, but that's with like normal driving, and then the speed, that's I guess the.
You're like, how far away? 45 minutes an hour. He's like, yeah, about 45 minutes an hour. And you go, at what speed? And he's like 65.
Yeah. So it's Highway 89 goes from Flagstaff up to Page. It's a straight shot. It's 2 hours. But if you look on a map and do like a street view, it's like
in the middle of
it's
fucking
in the
nowhere.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well, he saw you coming because he pulled over.
He saw me coming. He was coming the opposite
pulled
direction.
over quickly, yeah.
But he must have been driving. Like that's where a radar detector would have helped me out.
I'm surprised you didn't have one with you, dude.
I don't care.
I take a radar detector everywhere.
I was somewhere between
Even
Cameron.
Even here, I have the radar detector.
I was between Cameron and Willow Springs, to give you an example as to where I was. And if you go to the road, I mean, it is just Google Maps. It's embarrassing how straight it is. And I think I'm looking at like a 60-mile straightaway here.
Wow. Now, do you have to go back to appear in court? Or
No, it's already resolved.
Oh,
I held that video till after it was
Oh,
resolved.
good.
Because it was a criminal citation.
Yeah.
But here you're looking at this route, and it's just like there's no better place. And the cop was like, I'm like, is there? To be fair, like, is there a better place in the country to go 91 miles an hour?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really going that fast.
Right.
And his response was like, well, we had a fatal out here at 90 miles an hour. I'm like, well, that means one of two things. One, the vehicle going 90 miles an hour should not have been going 90 miles an
Somebody
hour.
could have bad tires, bad
or
brakes.
whatever it was. It was just
Yeah.
a shit box that topped out at 70.
Yeah.
Or number two, you have to fix your roads. Because if you have a straight road like this and the car can't travel at 90 miles an hour without crashing and killing people, that's a problem with the road. So one of those two exist.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I'm not going to say I had that Stelvio faster than that on that road. That was obviously the fastest I drove that entire time. But had somebody else driven that road in a Stelvio at speeds in the 120s and it was perfectly adequate and fine, I don't think that 91 was really a big deal.
Gotcha. What color was the Stelvio?
It was white.
Okay, so it wasn't really.
I did a video on it. It was a pretty nice car.
Yeah.
I reviewed the Stelvio, and I was a fan.
And nobody saw it.
I must have missed it. I saw the Arizona speeding one.
Yep, like I said, nobody saw it.
Yeah. Page, Arizona, huh? Lake Powell.
You know what's a real fast car? The new BMW M5. Have you driven that yet?
I have not driven the M5 now.
I just drove it last week, so I have a YouTube video of it on my channel. And
Glenn's car
Whoa,
collection.
Glenn's car collection.
dropping the plug.
And it's
Get that plug in there.
0 to 60 time is car and driver got it as fast as 2.8 seconds. And I drove it on a rainy day, and now it's all-wheel drive. So the M5s were always rear drive. Now this is the first one that's all-wheel drive. It's the first one that's not available with a manual transmission. And they dropped the dual clutch as well. They have the 8-speed ZF automatic, which is actually pretty decent automatic. And that car is fast. Let me tell you, even in the rain, that car hooked up. Because the old F10 M5s had so much power and torque.
Ripping it in the rain, Glenn.
I was ripping it in the rain. You can watch the video to see that. And it was that car's fast, let me tell you. I think 0 to 80 was like 4 seconds.
That's quick. It's a lot of horsepower.
You could time it. I did 0 to 80, and if you watch the video, it's like 4.
Very cool. I just did a shoot I was on was with Car and Driver, and I like them now. I like Car and Driver a lot. They're good people.
Was it in Michigan or?
It was at actually there's a huge like media embargo on it, so I'm just gonna say it's at a track.
Gotcha.
And I had a shoot with them, and it was a lot of fun.
Cool.
But they're good people. I really enjoyed being with them.
Sweet.
So shifting gears here, Rob, what's been going on lately?
Whoa, what an open-ended question.
Well,
Jimbo.
I
I can really go anywhere
tell
with
us
this
about
one.
Napa. You went to Napa, right?
I did. I went to Napa. I was in. I had a lot of travel recently, and I started out.
So did I. That's why our upload schedule was fucked. It's true.
If Jimbo
You took Jimbo to Napa?
No. If Jimbo was on point, we would have uploads. That's beside
Dude,
the point.
I tried to film with you in advance, and I was like, we gotta do this.
Jimbo,
get high again,
2
did
days
it?
before I went, he's like, all right, I got 18 videos lined up
That's
for us
not
to
what
shoot
we
in the
did.
next 2 days.
2 weeks ahead of time
And I'm
before
like-
we travel. I was like, we gotta get extra videos out, and you didn't make the time.
Did he get high again when he was supposed to
He
do
did.
that?
No, I didn't. Assholes.
Never get high on your own supply.
No, I didn't. You just didn't make the time for it. You're disorganized. Extremely, extremely disorganized.
He's probably right about that one.
Pretty right.
I'm disorganized too.
Not me being an asshole. It's true. Like I told you a couple weeks ahead of time, we got to get videos done. And you didn't make the time.
Well, that's why you have
Yeah,
Jimbo,
but,
because you're
like,
disorganized, right?
There's a well, no. I wish I need somebody organized. Jimbo's not organized enough to get shit done.
That's not true.
Very true.
No, it's not.
The problem with having multiple businesses is that I'm always like dealing with the most important aspect of
Right then and
whatever business at that time. So I don't have time. I'm jumping from Gotham to Adventure Drives to YouTube channel to then like transport business to private event that I'm working on. Like all of those things take precedence over like Jimbo saying, "Hey, you want to film?" And I can't do that.
Hey, I get it. I'm just trying to do the job that you employ me to do. So, I mean, if you can't make time for it, it is what it is.
Way to mention all your businesses, right?
Yeah, way to go. Yeah, exactly.
So tell us about, can you talk about the transport business yet? I know that's...
I can. We're not done with my travel yet.
All right, let's talk about the travel. All right, let's talk about Napa. Well, you had a post on Instagram with like some kind of exotic car event. Was it like one of those dream drives or?
It was similar. I was so let's go back. I was in Miami. My sister-in-law graduated law school, so I was down in Miami. Nothing really of consequence. Did I shoot any videos down in Miami? Nothing really, right?
You shot you losing a watch.
I did lose my watch. That sucked.
You got fucked.
Then I went from Miami. I came back on like a Wednesday at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, 6 o'clock in the whatever. I got home after dinner. And Thursday, I had a flight at like 10 in the morning to Dallas. And I went down to hook up with Lou Gelati, who had my Corvette. He had the Nürburgring car. And the intention there was to be able to go down and film the completion of my car and go test it out in the 100-degree Texas weather.
Yep.
Try to break it and make sure we had the cooling all sorted out. And ideally to get my truck painted. But again, that was a big ask on such short notice. I may have to just, on the way back through Kentucky, just go back to the guy who built it and say, like, just fucking paint it for me.
Should have done it to begin with, dude.
Yeah, you don't think about that stuff at the time. I'm like, oh, it's all right. I got a paint sponsor. I'll just get somebody to spray it and we're good.
Oh, no, I get it. But you got bone there.
But, yeah, I want to make that
So
look
you
proper.
went from Miami back to Jersey to Texas?
I went from Miami back to New Jersey. Then the next morning I went to Texas.
Would it make sense to go from Miami to Texas?
No, I had my family with me, so I had to get my family home. So I brought my family home. Then I went to Texas. Then from Texas, I was there for 2 days, and I had to come back for my kid's birthday party, which was so I came back at like midnight on a Friday night. My kid's birthday party was on Saturday morning.
I hope so.
Sunday, I had the Greenwich Concourse, but the Greenwich Cars and Coffee, but that was rained out.
It's this Sunday.
Now it's this Sunday. Yeah. And by the way, if you're coming, I'll be up at the Greenwich Concourse this Sunday. Come on by and say what's up. I'll be there representing Adventure Drives.
Cool.
Then the Monday morning, I had to go, or Monday like early afternoon, I had to go to California, out to San Francisco to deal with some tires and some logistics to get some cars up to Napa for a private event. And I had 13 cars up in Napa. The private event went very well. Cool. Everybody was happy. It was gorgeous. I love Napa. Napa is one of those places that, like, if you've never been, you have to go. It's like really upscale, classy, clean, not incredibly cheap, but also not incredibly expensive. Like, if you wanted to go to dinner and go to like a nice, like upscale, like Gott's Roadside or something like that, you'd go get a great meal and a great experience for $40 for two people.
Really?
Or $45, whatever it is. It's not like you don't have to spend $150 on dinner. Even the place we went to was the Charter Oak, which I think is a Michelin-starred chef or a Michelin-starred restaurant. And like I got like just a phenomenal chicken. And it was only like $25.
I love chicken.
Chicken is good.
Yeah, I've never been to Napa. I've been to Monterey, Carmel.
Yeah, you got to go up to Napa.
Yeah.
Napa, like I go to Car Week, and then I leave Car Week to go up to Napa.
Oh, yeah. How far is Napa from there?
It's a couple hours.
At what speed?
It's a problem that you're in traffic. It's like an hour and a half to like Yountville, which is like center of Napa, or Oakville, Yountville, St. Helena. It's like an hour and a half from like the Golden Gate Bridge or like downtown San Francisco. So really not that bad of a drive. Like an hour and a half is a very reasonable drive.
Cool.
So
you drink Pinot Noir?
No, the only drink I had, we stopped by Silver Oak, because that's one of the places we're probably going to go on adventure drives. And I had the Silver Oak Napa Valley Cabernet, the 2013, which you can pick up in stores for something like $120 or $130 a bottle. So at a restaurant, that's like a $250, $300 bottle. And it was very nice. I enjoyed it.
Sweet. When you go on all these long road trips, do you ever use cruise control?
Depends on the car I'm in.
Like
and
when
where
you were
I'm
driving the Stelvio, for example, did you have a cruise control?
Yes,
on?
I did. I cruise controlled.
I probably use cruise control. I'm using it more lately, but I probably use it like 10 times my whole life. I just like I just like to be in control.
No, I mean when you're just bombing along, like I would even shift it into like if it had an automatic mode, I would like shift it in automatic mode so I could just like
what do they call that where it does the speed? I forget what.
Or even like self-driving mode. Adaptive cruise control, self-driving mode.
That's pretty cool. I've driven a couple cars recently that have that. That's pretty cool. Like when you're slowing down for traffic, like the roads here, like a Route 17, where all of a sudden you get congestion. Where it.
You can come to a stop and it'll bring you back up to speed. I'm just happy to like not have to think about like you could relax your mind a little bit and you can like not have to like look in the traffic or stay in the lane. Like I hate driving at night. Because all the headlights in the other direction, for some reason, they just make me tired. They strain my eyes, and I'm like tired of driving very quickly. That's why everyone's like, "Why don't you do an endurance thing?" And I can't do an endurance thing.
Gotcha.
Because like I just like I would fall asleep.
Well, that's how I feel with cruise control. Like if I have a long trip and I put cruise control, I feel like I'm relaxing too much. Where if I'm just driving regular, it's probably just me.
Sure.
90% of the people use cruise control. There's a big cruise control recall. Fiat Chrysler. They're recalling every vehicle. My Jeep Grand Cherokee is in it. The cruise control might not turn off, and it may keep you at speed.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you just like
they're saying don't use cruise control, and it's like millions of vehicles. They just announced it today, and so it's any like Chrysler you can think of or any Dodge you can think of.
Is my truck my GMC?
What year is it?
04.
No, it's more recent ones, like 2014 and 2018. So my Jeep is a 2014. It's even the new Wrangler, the 2018 Wrangler, the like the Magnum, and so they're saying don't use cruise control. And if you do, and it keeps you accelerating, won't slow down,
jump out of the car.
Well, no, it says the brakes should be able to stop the car.
The brakes will overpower the cruise control.
Or put it in or it says put it in neutral and then hit the brakes.
Yeah.
But so it's just like that.
Yeah, but most
people
don't think like that.
How we talked about cruise control and then got into
that is kind of scary though. If you hit the brakes and it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
the brakes will always stop the car even if you stay on the gas.
Well, what was the problem with the Toyotas, right, or the Priuses? And it really wasn't. They didn't find
the problem with the Prius is that it's a Prius.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Priuses, Jimbo's going to pull up. Somebody this is a good segue too. Somebody put a Hellcat motor in a Prius, like a serious thing,
That's a waste of both the Hellcat motor and the Prius.
So the Hellcat. Have you driven a Hellcat?
Okay, I'm not gonna pull that up because it will completely crash this shitty computer.
No
I have not. I've
driven the wide body, but only with an automatic transmission. So these guys, they put a Hellcat motor in a Prius. And they actually raced Hellcats, and of course they were faster because it's a lighter car.
Yeah.
But the Prius has like that terrible CVT transmission. They pulled that and put in a 6-speed manual. Now, a regular Hellcat has 707 horsepower. They bumped this up, with bolt-ons to 800 horsepower. And what do you think it ran in the quarter mile?
800 horsepower in a Hellcat is probably like...
Not a Hellcat, in a Prius.
Oh, in a Prius?
So you got a lighter car now.
950.
Yeah, you're right. Very close. 938 at 147.
I was going to say 940, actually. That would have been 2/10
I knew you'd guess it because you're pretty good. I would never put you on the spot.
Power to weight.
Yeah, so they go out and race like Hellcats and stuff. Of course, you're going to beat it because of the power to weight ratio, right? But it's a serious thing. Like they put in a 6-speed manual, so it's like no joke.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see. I want to see what my Corvette can do in the quarter.
What would it do?
I don't know.
Well, it's at one point it was running well, right?
Yeah, but I never ran
quarter mile. You never ran a quarter mile?
So.
Well, the first step is to get your car running.
Well, it is running. I could run quarter mile all day long. But
the tune isn't that great.
The tune is spot on. My problem with my car is when I'm hot lapping a road course.
Right, it gets overheats.
So it just gets too hot. But that's not like in road use. I could go drive it to DC and back, or I could drive it to California and back.
Well, what's it making tune wise right now?
620 wheel horsepower at 3,100 pounds.
Okay, I mean that's
and
not
what's
bad,
the boost?
Like
the boost was lower.
10
boost.
pounds.
10 pounds. So that's a good number. A low number.
Yeah, it's like it's road course setup.
Right. Well, I tracked on road courses my Corvettes, and they were pretty much stock, just bolt-on C4s and C5s.
Sure.
And they always overheated. Like I had aluminum radiator, had everything in there. So imagine you have turbos on there, right?
Well,
so then you're really like doubling the heat, probably tripling it.
Well, I got to figure out how to get the heat out of the engine. I'm not me. Lou is doing it.
Yeah.
Get the heat out of the engine bay. Get the car breathing. Get the air flow through. I had the front mount intercooler was right in front of the radiator, so the air coming out of the intercooler was 220 degrees. Going into the radiator at 220, it's you're starting off hot.
Yeah.
So it's like blowing a blow dryer on your radiator. It's harder to cool a car.
Well, even the new Corvette Z06s that are supercharged were getting heat soak at the track.
Soak, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, it's like it was a fast car, and it wasn't that the tune was off or anything like that. And I run 10 pounds of boost, so I don't have to do methanol. I don't have to do 85. I don't have to do anything there. I can run 93 octane pump gas and run and literally run hard.
Wow.
I was at Sebring, I was a second behind Gelati's lap time on my second lap, and which conveniently my last full lap. But on my second lap, I was only a second behind Lou Gelati in my car, and I'm running 93, and he's running E85.
Wow.
So, and he's in that 2018 or 2017 Z06 that's modified to 730 wheel horsepower.
Yeah.
So to only be a second back, and I could probably, and he was consistent. Like he was like, I could probably, with more laps for Justin, who was driving my car at the time, could have probably picked up a second, half a second, whatever it was.
Right.
We could have gotten it deeper.
And what tires do you have it on the car?
It was on the Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. Great tire.
Cool. Sweet.
So I'm up, like, if I can get that thing running reliably to the point where I can go hot lap a racetrack for a few minutes.
Yeah.
A
few minutes or
when
a whole
I say
session?
a few minutes, like 30 minute session. I'm going to ship it over to the Nürburgring to see what I can do. I mean, I'm optimistic, but like I would be happy with anything under a 7:30. But
so you don't even have to last 20 minutes. You got in the last 8.
Yeah, 8 minutes. But it'd probably be on like a. I mean, I guess that wouldn't be a warm up lap. That would be a hot lap. So it would be out of the pits like that. But yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. It's. I would be very happy to see that sort of lap time.
What do you have for cooling now? Like
me?
Yeah. Aluminum radiator.
I mean, it's got a big aluminum radiator. We're going to go smaller in the radiator. Lose the 2 fans, go to 1 fan. Above 80 miles an hour, the fans are actually causing more blockage. And like you could have no fans in the car versus having fans in the car. The fans are more so for traffic. Okay. Like that Formula One car I drove at Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah.
It was like if you let it idle too long, like even for like 20 seconds, like the thing would start overheating.
Oh, wow.
You got to get the airflow moving over it.
Gotcha.
So ultimately, like that car has to be moving at all times, otherwise it'll overheat.
Right. So the fans were really there when it was.
The fans are only there for like traffic.
Slow or traffic. Yeah, somebody's blocking your air.
And above 80 miles an hour, the fans actually interrupt the airflow and they become in the way. But like that just shows you whether they're spinning or not spinning. It doesn't really matter.
Right. Now you did the Formula One thing at Circuit of Americas, right?
I did.
They still have that? Like, does this
still exist? It was the only time I ever saw it take place.
Oh yeah. Did you enjoy it? I mean, was it worth it?
I did. It was it's 15,
it was expensive, right?
It's 15 grand.
Wow.
So if you have that money to spend, then it was worth every penny.
Right.
It's sort of like flying in a fighter jet. If you got the money, it's worth every penny.
How much seat time did you actually get?
I got 4 laps.
Okay.
And
that's a big track. I mean, it's at least a 3 mile track.
It's a big track,
right?
yeah. But like it goes by very, very quickly. And then you've got the. I did the 3-seater too, so I sat over the wheel and
with somebody else driving.
Yeah, with DDA.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I know him. Yeah, I met him once. I don't know. I'd probably be more comfortable driving than having somebody drive.
I hate it. It was
yeah, I don't like that.
For my hot lap and my 3-seater, my hot laps and my 3-seater lap downpour the whole time. We were on wet tires. It sucked. Like it's such a great track and a glorious track, and I would have gone so much harder had it been dry.
Yeah.
But like I just don't drive hard in the rain. I don't like doing it. There's no benefit to me to do. Like I'm not gonna like, oh cool, yeah, I put down a quick wet lap.
Right.
Like it's not gonna ever impress anyone. So.
Right. Well, the line is very different in the rain. I remember when I took like some of the Skip Barber racing schools, one day it really rained, and like the line is almost the opposite in the rain. But I'm not a good passenger. Like I would drive that car if I had the 15 grand, I'd spend it. But if they offered me a hot lap with him driving, I'd be like, oh no, thanks.
yeah, I hear that.
It's because your head must be like whacked all over the place.
My head was shooting all over the place. I was not a fan of that.
Right. Because like those cars, I mean, the pros can get like 5 Gs in some of those turns or under braking.
Yeah, no, it was pretty wild, but like I didn't like. I was so excited for that lap to be over.
When you weren't driving.
When I wasn't driving.
Right. See, I would have wanted.
I'm just like my head is just exposed to the wind, and I'm just sitting there like trying to tape myself.
It's like being on a ride or a roller coaster, and like, after the first turn, you don't want to be on that ride.
Yeah,
anymore.
Exactly. But I mean, I've never been like that because I like roller coasters.
Okay.
But yes, the analogy is accurate.
Well, big Formula One race this weekend, Monaco.
Is it Monaco?
Yeah. So every Memorial Day weekend on Sunday is you got the Monaco Grand Prix and then the Indy 500. So the Monaco Grand Prix is in the morning and Indy 500 in the afternoon.
I was invited to the Indy 500.
I'd love to go one time.
It's never really appealed to me, but yes, I could see how it would be cool.
Well, next time, if you go next year, take me with you.
If I get another invite,
all right.
I'll definitely. So, but are we at 30?
We're at 30,
Jimbo's signaling the 30. We're going to take a quick commercial break to thank those guys that make this weekly podcast, happen for you. And we will see you in 1 second. So, there's things I do every day. One of those things is putting underwear on. Now, Sheath Underwear helps cover my ass, especially in these podcasts, by sponsoring us. And now they can take care of your ass too. Now, Sheath Underwear is a premium underwear. It's not your dad's tidy whities. It's not your old pair of boxers that you got in high school that you should have thrown away 5 years ago that you still wear. It's good premium underwear. Their thing is that you can put your balls and your shaft into a little pouch in the front. makes you look huger. I mean, it's all you, but it looks good. But it also keeps your balls from rubbing against your legs or sweating, and that skin to skin, it's not a good thing. You don't really want it. And it's a good, comfortable underwear. It looks good, it feels good, and it's functional, and it makes your sack not sweat. So that's something to check out. You can check out their website, sheathunderwear.com. You can enter promo code SPEED. That'll save you 25% off your first order. And I promise, once you get Sheath Underwear, you're going to be ordering more and more pairs. So I'd probably get at least 3 to start, because you're not going to want to wear the same pair every 7 days or wash them every other day. It gets a little awkward with underwear. So, man, it's not a pair of jeans. You can't just get away with wearing the same pair of jeans 4 days in a row. Underwear, you can't do that, no matter how much you like them. So check out sheathunderwear.com, and you can use the promo code SPEED and save yourself 25%. I guarantee once you start wearing them, you're not going to wear anything else. I don't. So there's things you never want to do in the car world. You never want to not buy a car because you're afraid of the maintenance costs. And you also don't want to be fearful when you buy a car of driving it because you don't want to break it. Two of those things, it ruins the ownership experience. So how do you fix that? Well, there's a company called eAuto Warranty, and eAuto Warranty will sell you a warranty. You pay monthly just like you would for your car insurance, and it relieves the stress and anxiety of having a big maintenance repair. And that's something, I mean, they cover the smaller stuff too, but obviously that doesn't keep you up at night. The stuff that you're concerned about is a pilot bearing failure or something that everyone talks about as a possibility. And you're like, ooh, I don't want to have to pay for a transmission rebuild on that. Well, eAuto Warranty will cover it. So check it out. You can go to eautowarranty.com. You can enter your car in. You can get a free online quote, or you can enter a car you're interested in, or like, oh, one of those Maseratis I've always liked. See what it would cost. It may make sense to you. It may not. But it will allow you, if you do go ahead with it, to sleep easy at night. I'm telling you, the proof is in the pudding here. I had a warranty that I was paying for 4 months, and they covered that means they made $300 off me, and they paid for a $2,400 repair. So it's good. It's nice to have. It's good to have in your back pocket if you ever need it. You don't have to renew it after the first year. You can just do it on a yearly basis. But I'm telling you, once you have it, you're going to love it. And especially when you get your money's worth out of that repair, you're going to be happy you made that choice. So check them out, eautowarranty.com. You can get a free quote for your vehicle or one that you're interested in purchasing. All right, and we're back. Thank you very much. Thank you to the sponsors. Thank you to Sheath eAuto. Guys are all awesome, and they're awesome because they make this podcast possible, and that's why we try to stick to a once-a-week schedule, as long as we could do it in between travel. But we will try to keep that once a week from now until the end of time, and I hope you guys enjoy that. But let's talk about what do you got, Glenn?
What do you got? Well, you want to give us a house update?
House update? We're here.
Okay. Wow, this house is going to turn into your dream home.
It is at some point in time. I may end up renting it while I look to resubmit the plans. Plus, I want to put a lot of cash. I may be putting a lot of cash into something else, and I don't want to take a bigger loan on the house. So if I do that, I'll rent the house for the year while I put cash to the left, and then next year I can put the cash into the house, or next winter I can put the cash into the house. And then reverse that polarity, so to speak. So the house update is going to kick Jimbo out, and he's looking for a roommate now. And I'm going to put somebody in here that actually pays rent, and that will offset my mortgage, and I'll be a happy guy. So if you like Jimbo and you're a patient person, then reach out to him if you're in Rockland, Bergen, or maybe even Westchester County. Jimbo is looking for a roommate to split everything but the electric bill, because he uses a lot of electric.
I mean, I have to.
Look at all these lights. Jesus. Yeah. Guy runs I think he's Bitcoin mining out of my property.
There you go. Right. Now, if you rent this house out, where are we going to podcast for the next year?
I'm actually getting a warehouse as well.
Oh.
The podcast is easy. We could literally podcast from a coffee shop.
Gotcha.
So, but what else do we have? We have, I just did a couple of videos.
You want to talk about the Ford GT?
Ooh, the Ford GT. That's okay. We can talk about the Ford GT. Ford GT. Obviously, they sold one at auction. I'm curious. I was so excited for Brooks from Drag Times to get his car to see what that car can actually do, and we're gonna have to wait just another minute or so because he has not run that car yet. So I'm excited. When he does run it, I'm excited to see what it can do. But the car that sold for auction, Ford actually tried to, allegedly, according to the Mecum speech, Ford tried to stop that car from being sold because it sold with 7 miles on it. It was a 100% flip. Which to me is like, haha, fuck you, Ford, for like your selection process. This is one of the first 100 cars.
Right.
So this is like ideally your primo,
low production number.
Your most loyal.
To get the 100,
and you had 2 high-profile guys flip them already, a John Cena and then this other car.
Yeah.
And Cena at least kept it for a month. Which was available for sale probably as soon as he got it.
Right.
But this guy was like, "Fuck that! I'm flipping it. I don't even want to drive it." Like, how is your selection process so broken that people that are like begging for cars that honestly deserve cars? Not even talking about myself, but people are begging for cars that deserve cars, don't even get a second look. And here you're selling the guys that are like instantly turning it around and flipping it.
Right. Now that car, has 500,000? What the MSRP is?
Yeah, 450 or something like that.
And then what did it sell for, like 1.7 million?
1.8 million. The guy made,
plus buyer's premium.
Yeah, but they've paid to sell it. But the guy made $1 million.
Yeah.
Like in a month, just for being on a list to buy a car.
Right.
I don't think that car is worth $1.5 million.
I don't think so either.
I think there's so much. I don't think it'll ever be worth $1.5 million. I think that guy buying it for $1.5 million is just a rich guy who's paying
who wants to have it.
An Uber premium, and it'll bump up the market for a little bit. But it's all I'm not buying it. I just think that car. I thought it was a stretch at $500,000.
Yeah,
that's a Ventador. That's like Ford just making a rare car. They did that with the Cobra R, and look at what history did to the Cobra R.
Yeah,
you had a rare car that sells for. Yeah, roughly like the clean ones that have been parked for 30 years sell for about what they cost new.
Right.
And even new, they carried a premium. So they were selling for 70 new. Now they sell for 50 or 60.
Right. Sticker was what, 50 on those
55.
cars?
55.
Yeah, and they only made 300.
Yeah, they
had
made 300, yeah. But now they have 300 cars that they're selling like at list after 25 years. You took 50 grand and put it in any investment 20 years ago, it'll be 120.
Yep, unless it was Bitcoin.
Yeah, unless it was Bitcoin. But you have to look at that and say, like, okay, so why did you buy the car if it hasn't, like, it's held its value, but it hasn't gone
It's
anywhere.
Like a painting that didn't go up in value.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you get
something,
to look at it, but you couldn't drive it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. I don't think the Ford GT is ultimately going to be a $500,000+ car.
Do they know who the seller was for the Mecum auction one?
No, it's a mysterious.
It's got to be somebody high profile if he's in one.
I mean, if he got in the top 100, but there's
a
bunch of. How many cars do we actually know that hit the streets? This whole thing was going to be like, oh, we wanted to get it in the hands of people that are going to show it off and bring it around. And
which you would have done.
Do it on social media. I would have 30 videos already. I'd be milking that shit for everything it's worth.
You've been pulled over 20 times with it.
Yeah. Recreate the police chase. But these guys are getting the cars, and like half of them, they're probably going right into a bubble, waiting until they can
now
sell
they will. When people see $1 million profit.
But now I think that other people will be like, "Fuck it, I'm going to sell mine."
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm not an idiot. Like, you can't imagine everyone that's getting these is a billionaire. Like, people are probably taking car loans on it and everything like that. They're well off, but nobody turns down $1 million.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, the car is not going to be great enough that they're going to say, "Hey, I don't want $1 million."
Yeah.
So that's a shame. Now, John Cena, I had heard the rumor that he sold it to Tom Cruise. Is that
not Tom
or
Cruise.
Scientology or something?
No, he sold it to a guy who actually applied who should have gotten one of the allocations, and he was in Texas.
Gotcha.
And he's just a guy who's had a bunch of Fords over the years, has a couple of GTs. But, like, for all intents and purposes, there's no reason that guy should have been denied a spot.
Right.
I think it was a completely arbitrary process.
Yeah.
I think that whole clown game of, like, send in your video. Like, I can assure you John Cena didn't be like, "Hi, I'm John Cena. You may recognize you from the WWE SmackDown where I threw a
Well, he does car reviews. He's got a car review channel.
He's not a YouTuber.
He did a review on the
He didn't put up hey, just want to let you know, Ford, I think I'd be really worthy of this car. Like, it's not, he didn't do that. He got it because of his name.
Gotcha.
But then why wouldn't Tom Cruise, if he actually wanted one, wouldn't have been able to get one? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's why the process was incredibly arbitrary and capricious.
And it probably got a lot of attention on the car, right? How do you create buzz on the car, making everybody do that.
I said that in my video, and Brooks shot it down. I said I could see Ford, after they lost the lawsuit, going and buying that back, right? Because imagine, what's the best thing you could do for your brand? You have a car that you're making 500 of. You're going to make some more of. Right. If you establish that the market value is actually like $2 million, then it's like, all right, cool. We're gonna release another 500, but it's going to be 750,000 because it's $1.5 million car.
Right.
So now they're selling them for double what they're selling the initial ones for, because people still think they're getting a deal.
Yep.
But all they did at Ford was buy the freaking car back to jack up the market.
Right.
Because they know they're not going to be a lot coming up for sale. But if they sop those up for big money, now everyone's like, oh, fuck, I can. Like, rich people line up to buy stuff for less than they think it's worth. Yep. Like, there will never be a shortage of rich people that will take that gamble if they see the last Kandinsky sold for $4 million. You get the same one for $3 million. You're going to spend $3 million on it, even if it's a worthless painting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, and the Ford GT, remember, they could always make more. Like, first they said 250, right? Then 250 turned to 500.
Yeah, I think 500 turned to 1,000.
Yeah, and then right, exactly. And
no, it was 250 per year for 2 years. Now it's 1,000.
Okay, so now it's up to 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So that could easily be another 1,000. What's to stop them from making?
Yeah, what's then a convertible model or like a
Target top
GTR?
Yeah, one with 10 more horsepower, a competition package.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm curious to see, and that's why I'm excited to see how fast that car actually is. I mean, the NSX is a perfect example. Yeah, you can put it around a racetrack pretty quick, but nobody really cares. It's not that exciting. It doesn't evoke any like excitement. And that's why the NSX went from being a $250,000 car, selling $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over list, to selling for $30,000, $40,000 off MSRP with dealer incentives.
Yeah, you can get it down to 130.
Huge kick in the dick. Yeah.
I think one of my friends leased it. Not that that's cheap, but like $1,600 a month or something like that.
Yeah,
which was like probably half of when it first came out. But I think the problem is, we talk about this all the time, but the NSX, like, they ran them up with options. Dealers wanted markups, and it kind of imploded. It's a great, I think, everyday car if you're somebody that could use that car all the time and get away with a two-seater.
I wouldn't everyday that car. There's no reason to.
See, I would daily that car.
Would
it even comes with all-season tires, so you drive it 12 months a year. Yeah, I don't think it's like – I think it's a great daily driver. I don't think it's an exciting, like a GT3 or a McLaren or a Huracan, something you would drive on the weekends. I think it's a car you would just drive every day. It's a good, fast car. It handles well. It looks nice.
Yeah, I mean, we did that video comparing it to the older ones. I don't think the video did incredibly impressively, but it was a good video. It was a good –
yeah,
I walked through. Yeah, I walked through it, and it was a good explanation as to why the car, I don't think, is doing well.
Put a manual trans in it, it'll sell.
Manual transmission, lose the electronics, and I think you'll have a car that may sell, and you'd have to jazz it up a little bit to make it look a little bit spicier.
Well, it would have been a lot cheaper to sell and produce if they made a driver's car, mid-engine, manual transmission, rear drive.
I think
like
it may be a little too late for this. I think they killed the namesake already.
Yeah, they should have called it something else. Like
I said, Acura Type 1. Yep. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, oh, cool, I'll buy a Type 1. That's cool. Let's look at that fast Acura.
Because I just drove the new GTR, and, the NSX probably is faster than that car.
I believe it.
Yeah, and if they called it, like, hey, Acura's version of the GTR, would probably be selling like hotcakes. Maybe not 200,000, but like the GTR.
I mean, there were like
if it was like 150,
yeah,
ridiculous.
Like
the first ones I saw were like 180.
Yeah, all the window stickers were at least 200 with options.
And stupid options. They're not Porsche,
Yeah, exactly. Even my Porsche, my GT3, when I order it, I'm not going crazy with the option. Or when it comes in, the options that I have on the car, like I was like 160 something on the window sticker.
Yeah. Base price is close to that, right? Or is
no,
it 140
139.
Oh, really? Wow.
So, but like that's like I lost all the bullshit. I don't need like the sport chrono, even though it's a big thing to get. I got the carbon brakes, I got the front lift system, and I got the manual box. Everything else was pretty basic.
Right. I'd probably get like stick shift, sport exhaust, and you're done, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What color are you getting in it?
Blue.
Yeah, that's what I would get. Sapphire blue
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think of GTRs? Have you driven GTRs?
I did. I was pretty meh.
The new ones are a lot better. I drove.
I don't think any of them are that great.
Yeah,
I think they're all just pretty boring. I mean, it's like
it's a really fast car. I mean, it's probably not the most involving car, and it's probably kind of electronic. I just drove a 2018 Premium, so like they jazz up the interior, made it like a nicer interior.
It just, the drive itself is not.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not fun.
Yeah, I drove it up in Bear Mountain. It was fun. I don't know that I'd like it enough to buy it, but it was good. So you can watch. You'll see that video on my YouTube channel too. But it's good. It's a good car. I always like it. Every time there's a GTR there, I jump in it. I don't know if it's enough for me to buy one. It's kind of like the car is doing the work instead of me. I like you do. The visceral car when you're shifting through the gears and you have to do the work to get the car. Like the NSX, a regular NSX is a perfect example of that, right? You need some skill and some you got to wring it out to get the performance of it. Where the GTR kind of, I think anybody can just hop in and be fast. And I would take one if you gave it to me. I do really like it, but I don't know if I
I would take a lot of cars over the GTR. That's well down on my list of cars.
What would you take?
I mean, everything.
Well, besides the GT3, so like that 150, 160 range.
GT3, 150 range. I would go for a 458 coupe. Yeah, cool. AMG GT if I had to over.
That's a great car. I drove the GTR. That's an awesome car.
Yeah.
The AMG GT.
Even the NSX probably over the GTR. Porsche Turbo easily.
Yeah, 911 Turbo. 991 Turbo.
The R8 over the GT3. The LP 560 over the GT3.
All right.
I mean, like, you name cars. Yeah. Virtually every make and model, except for maybe an Aston Martin. Would be the only one that I may not take over a.
I'd like to drive the new Vantage, like the other ones, the luxury ones, the
Aston
V12
Martin,
cars.
They just make such shit cars.
Yeah, I always like the V8 Vantage. I mean, I don't know enough to own one and if it's reliable, but driving with the 6-speed manual, I thought was pretty good. Yeah. The problem is it's hard to find one in a 6-speed manual, but I think the new Vantage would be a cool car. It's a great car, and I've mentioned this before, the V12 Vantage. They just made a 2017 model with stick. They got the Vantage S was just the paddle shift transmission, which is horrible, and Aston Martin. Yep. So they brought the stick back for 17 because that was the end of the Vantage with the V12.
Yep.
So it's a dogleg first gear, like the old Countach's first 1, 2, 3. Yep. And then a good buy, because they've come down since they brought the stick back, is an 11 or 12 V12 Aston Martin. They only come in stick those years, and they only made like 140 of them. Okay. So they had really high values, like 150, 160, with the new, because Aston Martin saw the stick shift Aston Martins going up, just like Ferrari and Porsches. So they brought the Vantage back in stick in 2017. So that made those 11s and 12s down to like 110 now, 120, which is a lot of car, 500 horsepower, V12 stick shift. And those cars are beasts. They're almost, I call it like a British Viper driving those cars.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I like them.
Nice. Okay. I don't know. Aston Martin just never did much for me.
Yeah. The V12 is a whole different animal. If you don't like a V8 Vantage because it's, not made that great, the V12 is a whole different animal.
It's been spotted around the Nürburgring is the ZR1.
Right.
So I'm sort of excited to see how that does, especially before we go out there. And it's sort of an indication because it's closer to what we would be putting out, which is sort of a race prep Z06, which is what a ZR1 is.
Right.
And to beat the ZR1 would be quite impressive, especially if we can do it for 50,000, 40,000, 30,000 less.
Right. The C7 Vet is a great car.
But I don't know if they're going to be able to solve their, maybe they would be able to solve their heat soak
issues. Yeah.
But Gelati has definitely solved it, but like they just did a half mile. Somebody had one down. A journalist from Car and Driver had it down at the half mile in Texas. They were running 183.
Wow,
that's fast.
Yeah, that's really fast
for a stock car.
Yeah.
Even the McLaren 720s were doing, and they're fast as shit. Right.
That's the fastest car I ever drove. Is a 720.
And they were doing like 179.
Wow. That's cool.
No, 169.
Wow. The 720S.
169. So this is now like significantly faster than the 720S, which is fast as shit.
Yeah, that's a crazy car. First time I ever drove it, it was crazy. That's even faster than a P1.
I would believe that.
I've never driven a P1, but
Texas. Let's see, is it the half mile?
It's in the high twos. The 720S.
You know what? I take that back. This was 183 in the Texas mile.
Is that what you just said?
I was referring to half mile times on the other ones.
I thought you were talking miles.
So no, half mile times. So 183 is actually not that fast. That's sort of where you see most Corvettes and like fast Corvettes and everything like that, because fifth gear and sixth gear just suck on these cars. Gotcha. So you get the fourth gear real quick, and then when you top out fourth and go into fifth, the rest is you're just moving so fast. You're chewing up all your track. You're not accelerating that hard.
Well, I know in the vets, I don't know about the ZR1, like my Corvette's sixth gear was for gas mileage. It wasn't for top speed. So you got to your top speed in fifth gear.
Sure.
Like when I used to do the long course at Pocono.
Yeah, you know what? It's actually much faster for the 720 is much faster.
Oh, okay.
This one did the quarter mile at 135, and I think the 720s are in the 140s, 145.
Really? I believe
or
it.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, the 720 is like 3 seconds to 6 is conservative. It's really like the high twos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably, I loved making a YouTube video of that. That's a great car. I'm hoping they bottom out. They're still up there because there's not that many of them sold, unlike, say, the 12C or the 650. So they're still holding their value so far, the 720S. But I'm hoping they tank eventually.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's a lot of car, but if they start coming out of warranty and having reliability issues, they're going to drop.
And there'll be an LT version of that. There'll be a Spider version of that, I'm sure. So right now it's just the base 720S, but hopefully other versions will come out. We'll push that down.
Sure.
Yeah, 285 I think is the base, and the one I drove had like every single option. It was almost 400,000.
Yeah. Let's see.
If I could buy any car, it would be that.
Okay.
Yeah. What would you take? Any car? I mean, you pretty much can have any car.
Yeah.
Koenigsegg.
No, I can't afford a Koenigsegg. Yeah. I can't afford most cars that I would buy.
Well, would you take the new Ford GT?
Only if I already had the old Ford GT.
Gotcha.
But the new Ford GT is, and I have to drive it. Like, I can't tell you how much I like it or dislike it until I drive it.
Yeah.
So there was, what was that recent? Oh, the Model 3. It just like everybody, they talked about the fit and finish just wasn't good.
Right.
So
I think they're probably rushing it out there. There's so many people.
Yeah, but people lining up to buy it and then finding out that like Consumer Reports is like, yep, this thing's sort of a piece of shit. We can't recommend that you buy it.
Wow.
And that's for people that like are begging for it and like paying over a list for them.
Yeah. Well, is it going to regular people yet? Because it went to
regular
Tesla
people.
Employees
Shubham gets one soon.
Oh, really? Cool.
This week.
Sweet.
So, but yeah, I mean, I haven't done the mile in any of my cars, but I'm sure I'd be right there in the 180s. Let's see what else I have on my to-do list or my talking list.
Now's probably a good time to buy the original Ford GT, and what I mean is
I like
the 0506.
The 250, yeah.
Yeah, because I think they've come.
That's where they belong.
Yeah, they've settled down. A year or two ago, they were going for like pushing 400,000.
Yeah.
And now you can get some with miles in that 250 range.
What do you think? Videos coming up. I mean, I've got a couple of cool videos coming up, but I just saw the VinWiki with Dustin Worrells from Techademics.
You're talking to me? No,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh. They essentially did a video about how they snuck on to the Gumball 3000.
Oh yeah.
For their Mischief 3000 DVD. Remember that? You didn't see it.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of them. Now that I'm working, I haven't seen the
No, I mean, it's
videos.
a DVD.
When I was home, I watched other
2003.
Oh, okay, no, I didn't see it.
But they snuck onto the Gumball, so it was actually, and I never knew they snuck onto the Gumball. I thought they were a participant. So it's pretty wild to hear the story, but I'm going to see if I can get him up here on the podcast because he's down in Maryland. But I even think it would be cool because he's like one of the OG, like, street racing DVD guys.
Oh, cool.
There was like 1320, me, him, and then there was like Getaway in Stockholm. But there wasn't a lot of guys that were in the space.
Yeah.
So, and there was guys from Long Island. What they make? Too Fast, Too Furious. No, Too Fast, Too Real for Hollywood. It was Long Island Extreme. But again, it wasn't a big space that we were in. But it would be cool to get like some of these guys together and go do some modern day video. All the OGs together doing some
that'd be
sort
cool.
of event.
Sweet, I watched that.
But yeah, we'll see. I'll see if we can make it happen. I'll reach out to him. I went to look through my text messages to see if I had anything from him, but I didn't find anything earlier. So Dustin, if somebody's forwarding this to you, which they very well may, hit me up on email or shoot me a text. Cool. What else we got? Let's see. Street Racers.
The Countach.
You talking about our Countach video?
Yeah.
So we got a video coming up, which is essentially that weird world of spending $250,000 to renovate a car, to freshen it up, to make it authentic.
To freshen up a Countach?
To freshen up anything.
Oh, okay.
But like, there's cars like I was out in Napa, and my cousin has a Jaguar, very rare Jaguar, but he bought it for like $75,000.
Like an
old one,
like
yeah.
An E-Type, like something.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
like an early like I forget what it's called, like a exterior screw E-Type. It was like one of the first 100 and some odd cars, and it's worth like $750,000 now or something ridiculous.
He's had it a long time.
Yeah, I think he's gonna drive it on adventure drives anyway.
Oh, sweet.
But he bought that car, and he's owned it for a minute, and he just spent $125,000 to restore a car that he spent $75,000 to buy.
Wow.
And that's becoming more and more popular. The fact that you're now making something like essentially certified and factory correct, and it just multiplies in value with these collector car markets. So we're doing a video coming up on Balboni, who does that for Muras and Countaches.
Oh, really?
And he travels the world, and he'll like drive your car, inspect it, and be like, "Look, I'm sorry, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong."
Oh, wow.
And then he corrects it, and he'll like essentially like sign off that your car is like factory correct at concourse level.
Oh, wow.
Correction. So
yeah, because I know a lot of people, Lamborghini owners, always wanted him to drive their car.
Well, he drove like every Lamborghini that came out of the factory for the first like 30 or 40 years.
Right,
it was
he had that dream job.
Pretty ridiculous.
Dream job, right? You think that job paid well or no? Because you're doing the best job in the world.
I never asked.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would.
I think you got to ask, Rob. That's an important question. Is he rich?
No, I think he would say it paid very nice. I was very comfortable with my job.
Usually jobs that are fun that people want don't pay well.
Yeah.
Jobs that, you have to do a lot of work and bring your own business or something could potentially pay well, right?
Yeah,
if it's everybody's dream job, it doesn't pay well.
Yeah. So yeah, that's in the queue. I've got the house update in the queue, the Gotham update in the queue, the new warehouse, the Evo build. There's a lot coming up.
Cool.
So I'm excited for that.
When are we starting on that Evo build, by the way?
I got to go get that. I thought Tommy was going to come down tonight and bring the motor.
Nope.
But it'll be about 2 weeks after I get the motor to get the motor up and running. I got to go back to Texas, get my Corvette sorted. Gelati never got back to me.
Yeah, that car, it sounds like it's going to be sitting there for a long time.
No, I'm going to push him to get it done because I want to I want to get at it,
You should just, besides, performance-wise, you should just make the car look nice again.
You saying it's not nice?
No, it's not. It looks like trash, dude.
Just the hood.
No, it's not just the hood. The inside's very dirty. You got espresso things laying all over
dirty.
the place.
It's just a sleeve of espresso cups on the seat. I could take them out.
Yeah, I know, but I just mean like you got the wiring harnesses and crap, like the body harness all over the place. Just clean the car up a bit. If you're going to spend that much money on performance, you might as well make it look decent.
I don't really care. I'm more concerned when it loses a race to Jimbo's Corvette. Then I'll pull the body harness.
You won't have to worry about that because my Corvette's going to be gonzo.
So Jimbo's losing his Corvette because he has officially the insurance caught up to him, so to speak.
My speeding finally caught up to me.
He got 3 or 4 tickets?
No,
in a
I got
month?
7 tickets in 2017. 5 of them, which were in November.
Yeah, that was
5 in 1 month.
That's after I got the C5.
Up here or going back and forth?
Back and forth.
Yeah.
And just being unlucky. Driving like an asshole. I don't drive like an asshole anymore.
Yeah, so he says that, but everyone.
Well, no, I really don't. It's not fucking worth it, and I don't want to pay for it either. I'm tired of it, so I just don't drive like that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know but that's where adventure drives actually came from. Was like it's not worth the constant pullovers and headaches that come with the stickers and the rally cars.
It's too much fucking money.
Well, that's not the money. It's just the.
Okay, well, if you're in rallies, I guess it doesn't matter, but it's just irritation.
Sure. But Jimbo, to be fair, you weren't on rallies. You just earned your.
I know. I just drove like a jackass.
Yeah.
End of story. But yeah, no, I was gonna get rid of the car to begin with anyway, though, even before the insurance stuff. I just wasn't enjoying driving it, and I wasn't driving it enough to warrant having it.
Sure.
Just I do a lot of work. I work a lot, so it's whatever. But we're at 27 minutes. Is there anything interesting to talk about for the last 3, particularly? Anything on that laptop of yours you've been staring at?
No, I'm just cruising through Reddit here.
Oh, Reddit's such a toxic wasteland.
Well, our cars has some decent stuff in it when it's not being a wasteland. But that's where I picked up the ZR1 half a mile time. But it's just general
Glenn, do you have
recalls.
anything new in the car collection?
I am actually going to be selling cars in the car collection.
What are you buying? Are you buying anything or no?
I am going to buy something. I'm going to buy a daily driver that's more for real estate. So now I have to have people in my car showing them buildings and stuff. What?
You're going to buy a Benz.
Well, that'll be, you can check out my channel. I do vlogs on it, like what I'm thinking. So there's 2 cars I've driven so far that I've liked. 1 car that I haven't. I may sell 2 to 3 cars depending how much that car costs me.
Just get a used Benz. Like, I mean, if you get like an early 2000s Benz,
I'm gonna cut you off.
That's fine.
Here's something that's worth a conversation.
All right.
2021 Dodge Viper, a Motown legend, is reborn.
Oh, jeez.
And it's not going to have a V10.
They said if they brought the Viper back, they would make it more like a Corvette.
And this is Car and Driver. This isn't like somebody's vlog.
Good source.
But I mean, if you come back with that would be cool if they came back with another Viper. They're going to have an aluminum block V8.
They got to make it sound ridiculous, though.
Yeah.
Well, V8 I think will sound better than a V10.
I don't know. It depends on the
Viper V10
It'll
never
be more
sounded
responsive.
That great. Yeah.
A manual transmission will make it stand out. It would be nice if they had an automatic, though.
Yeah, like a dual clutch.
Or a dual clutch, because
do a dual clutch.
No, but that's my point. It's a lot of people. Now have to know how to drive stick, and that's what made the Viper so dangerous. No traction control. If they built the Viper that had traction control and paddle shifts, I think it would have sold a lot more cars.
Right. Well, the new one had traction control. Traction control came out in 2002.
But, my car didn't have traction control.
You had the ACR, that's why.
Oh.
That's why.
You sure?
Yeah, positive. 2002 traction control came out. So the problem with the Viper, stick shift, like we talked about, 80% of vets are automatic or 70% of them are automatics, right? They put an automatic in the Viper, they probably triple their sales.
Yeah, it's just something that everybody likes the car, but nobody wants.
Dual clutch I can see in that car. I'd still want
paddle
to get a
shift.
stick.
Yeah,
I'd still want to get a stick, but I bet you they sell a lot more. But how about all these people? Vipers have gone up way up in value. The last gen Viper didn't sell well because it had almost the NSX problem with the price being too high.
And now they're saying that the new Viper would be probably under $90,000, which is where it belongs.
Now the 03 Viper to 09, in that range there, they were like $93,000, and they didn't sell that well. So when the last gen came out, the GTS started at $140 before they had that $15,000 price reduction.
Sure.
So if it didn't sell at $93, even though you probably made a much better car, it's not going to sell at $140.
Well, that's why they're saying the new Viper is going to be under $90.
Yeah.
I think it's a $75,000 car.
Yeah, it's 75. That's why I bought my ACR at 78 and 7 or whatever, 80, 78, and I sold it for 78. I drove it for free. Yeah.
But the last couple months or the last year, let's say, whenever they stopped making the Viper, values have gone up a lot. Like you used to be able to get a 2013 for 65 if it was red and not a GTS. Those went up to like 80, 85,000. And then all those special editions, like 150,000. So those people are going to be fucked if they come out with a new and better Viper.
Some dealers bet big too and sopped up a lot of the cars.
Yeah.
No, we control the demand.
Right. And they made 1 million limited editions at the end. There were so many limited editions.
Yeah, but they still bought up the final, the entire final edition run that sold out, quote unquote, very quickly. It's because some guys are I'm going to buy them all.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't know if that's actually the case, but I think we got most of the stuff I wanted to talk about down tonight. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank Glen for joining us. I mean, podcast 60, that's a big deal.
That's a big deal. We've been doing this almost 3 years, me and you.
Have we really?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it is.
So
I think I started like 23, podcast 23 or something
okay.
like that. Yeah.
So yeah, you've been around for a minute now. We just got to find Elizabeth, get her back for the reunion.
Yeah.
The 60 podcast,
We'll do that for podcast 100.
By podcast 70, I'm going to see if we can get Elizabeth back in here. And
I don't think you're not going to get her back by 70.
It's 10 that's 3 months.
It's 10 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think in 10 weeks?
I mean, who knows?
If we do 52 podcasts a year, I'd say podcast 100 would probably be realistic.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Thank you guys for watching. Check out Glen's car collection
on
if
YouTube.
you want to on YouTube and Instagram. If you want a room with Jimbo, shoot him an email. jrbbusiness605. Nope.
No, it's just tell him to email you, and you'll just forward me the email.
Don't make me your secretary.
Rob, you gonna screen these roommates for
Usually
Jimbo?
oh, Jesus Christ.
Send Jimbo at Jimbo's channel on Instagram if you have a place in Rockland, Bergen, or Westchester County that you're looking to have a roommate. And you already know who I am. So thank you guys very much for watching. Thank the sponsors, Sheath Underwear, which I'm wearing right now, which are awesome, and the Auto Warranty. Those guys are both great, and they're making this stuff possible for you. They're making us stay up late and talk cars just for you guys. So thank you very much to them, and we'll see you next time.